Hello, my darlings. Welcome back. Welcome in. Come on in. Take a deep breath with me. How is your day going? I hope that you have been able to find beauty in it. I hope that you have felt moments of peace and of joy. And if you haven't so far, I hope you do. I'm sending you comfort if you need that. I have absolutely no idea what this reading is going to be. It's a mystery. It's a big surprise. I'm actually going to start it with an oracle card. I'm going to draw you a goddess oracle card, and hit the camera while I do that. That's actually not this deck. It's this one here. So let's go through the... If you hear this noise ever in the background, this is what I'm doing. I go through and rather than do the shuffle and have a card jump out, I tend to do this and let my fingers kind of stop me. Oh, Hecate. Look at you. Hecate is an interesting one for me because I've worked with her and she scared the hell out of me at the beginning because, Hecate is goddess of magic from the underworld. It's interesting to me for my Disney people out there. Her sigil is actually in the fence around Haunted Mansion. If you look closely and if you're aware of what that actually looks like, you'll see it. Or it's very close to it. It might be just a tiny bit off, but it's there in the Haunted Mansion, which I think is really cool. Hecate was an interesting one for me when I was working with her. She was trying to teach me about balance, quite frankly. She was teaching me that, it's like I'm very light situated. I'm very much, I came from a very Christian background. So I've got, my focus is on, the Christ consciousness and, the archangels and all of that, because that's what's comfortable for me. Those are the stories that I know. And so when she came in to work with me, it was like pulling me to a better place of balance and understanding that the dark is nothing to be feared. The dark has its beauty as well. And on all honesty, going back to my Christian background, God created the light and the dark so they would balance one another, because all of either is bad, but the balance is where the beauty is. The balance is where God is. So I'm going to actually read to you, though, now that I've given you my little story. I'm going to find Hecate. Hopefully I'm going to find Hecate in here. I'm not seeing a number on here to find her, but let's see how to find Hecate in the little book. And I will read you. Oh, it's alphabetical. Very good then. I was like, how am I going to find her in here? Here she is. Hecate. The origin is Greek. Time to get witchy with it. Goddess of magic and queen of crossroads. Oh, I didn't know that. Hecate reminds us that we are at the crux of our own power. You'll be at your most magical now, and Hecate is reinforcing that power. I love it. And on the other side, this just drew my attention, is Hathor. Hathor, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. That's the Egyptian god of joy, goddess of love and joy. Ushering in a new era of celebration, and my guides just said, you're at the crossroads. Choose joy. Choose joy. That's good wisdom for all of us. So I'm going to leave Hecate here. Let's see. I'm going to leave Hecate over here, and then we're going to draw some cards. I'm going to draw the cards here from the Spirit Song Tarot. It's funny because I've got all light decks. It's like the Spirit Song Tarot is like almost like a Sunday brunch tarot to me. It's like, let's go have brunch and be polite and pretty. And then I've got my little cheeky cats here with those are the decks that I chose. And then Hecate comes out as our goddess. Balance. I'm telling you, it's all in the balance. All right, so I'm gonna give this just another shuffle. I don't use this deck as much as I use some of my other ones. And so I don't think this gets as much shuffling at times. So just let me give it a couple. I shuffled it quite a bit actually before we started, when I realized this was the deck I was going to be using, but still, I just feel like it's not quite finished shuffling. And if you're new to the channel, you're new to me, my guides have me not doing reversals. So if you see a card come up reversed. I'm going to turn it upright because I'm reading the energy off the card, which will encompass either the reversed energy or the upright energy. And for the video, the pictures are just, they make more sense if they're upright. So that's that. Oh, I have some exciting news. I'm actually going to be adding something to the channel in the next few days. Might be a little bit weird, but we're going to try it out. I have ordered myself some coloring books and some markers. And we're going to do like a mid-afternoon kind of chat situation where I'm going to sit here and color instead of playing with the cards and just talk to you guys about stuff. Share a little bit about my story, share things that I've learned, wisdom that I have. I'm also about to start taking a new class. It's a year-long class in crystals and spiritual gifts. So I'll share, what I'm learning as we go through the year. But when we get to 1,000 subscribers on this channel, I will probably do some of those live, which I'm really looking forward to doing. So if you have not subscribed, please do so and share the channel and all of that and help me get to those 1,000 subscribers so we can go live and have the community tab. And there's just a lot of bells and whistles that YouTube brings online once you have 1,000 subscribers. So I truly appreciate your help in getting me to that 1,000 subscribers, because I feel like we all need to put the energy in here at the beginning, because I'm here because my guides told me to be here, and now I need you all to be here. So there we go. There's that. Nope, it needs one more shuffle. Sorry, y'all. I didn't really think that this needed this much shuffling still. It felt like I was ready to go live. Okay, now I'm getting the okay. I don't know what that was. We're going to cut the deck one more time. And then we're going to look at the bottom and see what Spirit wants to talk about. The King of Feathers. As I don't use this, and now I've got to remind myself, oh yeah, what are feathers? I think feathers are swords in this book. So this is the King of, in this deck, this is the King of Swords. Logic and justice. King of Swords knows truth. All right, I had to go grab the book really quick. Sorry about that. The way that they do this deck, this is why I'm remembering why I didn't use it very much. I was practicing with it when I first got it about a month ago, and then I haven't actually used it more than like twice, because like, how the Roman numerals throw me on here. I like, when you work with the same decks over and over again, you get very familiar with them and what they are. And when you're actually doing readings, I like being familiar with what I'm doing. And I haven't had a lot of time to practice since I started the channel, just like in my off time. So, but here we go. This deck is divided by elements, fire, air, water, earth. Now in the traditional tarot, fire is wands, earth is pentacles, air is swords, and water is cups. So what we're going to know what the card is by the little symbol right down here. So that's why I've got the book here, because I'm going to have to look every time. So yeah, this here is our air element, which is swords. This is our earth element. So 2 of crystals would be the 2 of pentacles. And we got the 9 of acorns, which I think is our our fire element. So acorns are wands. 9 of feathers, so we're back to swords. 9 of swords and 3 of shells. Shells are cups. I knew that without looking, because why wouldn't shells be cups? All right, so, oh, and look, we have the Queen of Feathers here. So we've got a nice bookend. All right, so these cards really are beautiful. I mean, I'm so thankful that I got them. I think they're just gorgeous cards. Look at this 9 of Feathers. I'm going to try not to confuse you with the shells and feathers and all of that. I'm just going to call them what we know them by as the tarot. So we've got the King of Swords, the 2 of... Well, if I could remember what I just said crystals were. That is earth, so that's pentacles. Oh, yeah, of course, crystals, pentacles. Let's put a couple out here just to represent. 2 of crystals, that's 2 pentacles. So King of Swords, 2 of pentacles, 9 of wands, Nine of Swords, and Three of Cups. Bookended again by our Queen of Swords. Okay. King of Swords is about truth. It's about knowing your truth. It's about being very solid in who you are, demanding that truth. Oh my. Sirens, I'm guessing we need to pay attention. Demanding truth of yourself and of those around you. This being the King of Feathers, or the King of Swords, sorry. The King of Swords, he rules his tribe. You know, he is the king of the jungle, the king, the Lion King. This is talking about the new year, stepping into your truth, leading in a new way. There's new responsibility coming. You are going to be called to step up in a greater way than you have in the past. The Two of Pentacles is reminding you to balance. We're back to balance again. The Two of Pentacles is often about you have a decision to make and you're going back and forth on it. And I'm really connected at the moment with guides on this because this stuff is coming through very different than what I'm used to. And I'm guessing that's why they had me use this deck, because this deck, because it's not what I'm very used to, and because it does things differently, it's opening me up to a deeper message, a different type of message. Because what I just heard from them, the new year is going to challenge us. It's going to put us at a crossroads. That crossroads is going to be effectively, we're going to be challenged in ways that will our knee-jerk reaction to it might be to fear and to retreat. And what I feel God's saying to us today is you're being called, because you're here, it's you're being called to step up into leadership in a different way. You may have to forsake Pentacles for a while. You may have to take a step back on earning money for yourself or your family or whatever it is. You know, swords are also logical, and I just heard, you know, get more education, and I don't mean traditional education. You know, take classes and research and learn your spiritual practices. You need to root in them in this coming year. You will need your spirituality more than you ever have, but if you really root in that spirituality, you will fly. And when the ground crumbles beneath everyone else, you will be soaring. But that's going to come out of your spirituality, not from your day-to-day stuff, your job, your responsibilities. I'm not saying be irresponsible. I'm just saying that's not where your wings come from. You know, the Nine of Wands, on this card, it says power and perseverance. And this is something, again, that we're going to be needing as we come into the new year. I'm hearing my guides say actually read from the book on this one. Don't take a typical Nine of Wands meaning. So give me just 1 second. Sorry, I don't like to read from the books in general. I like to be able to just channel it right from source. But sometimes what I channel is go read the book. Did I pass acorns? I passed acorns. I could have paused while I did this. I might cut this part out when I actually go to put the video up, so that you're not stuck here. Here we are. Acorns. So let's go to the 9 and see what the 9. This is Panther, power and perseverance. Fueled by faith, Mysterious Panther is an empress of reclaiming her power. With heightened awareness, she is prepared for any opposition. Her resilient spirit shines when faced with the dark side of the moon. Oh God, I just got chills. Next year, almost the whole year, it's the dark side of the moon. We're going to be on the dark side of the moon in this shift. Panther will help guide you safely as you face your fears and defend your position. And that, I almost said stand your ground, but that's more of a Seven of Wands thing. The Nine of Wands has a wall up. It can be a protective wall, or sometimes it can be a wall because, you know, you're blocking yourself. This is, you know, face your fears and defend your position. By taking the right steps, your hard work on a venture is coming to fruition. You have invested a great deal of time and energy, and you're on guard. Fear not, for your perseverance is about to pay off, and your efforts will prove to be victorious. I feel like that's sort of the theme of, you know, the year for us. What we've been doing, you know, going back to 2012, what we've been doing since 2012, I believe is going to start paying off in 2022. For those of us that have been doing our work and that are aligned and in the right place, 2022 is going to be a magical year. I don't think it's going to be that way for the planet at large. I think it's going to be a very difficult year for the planet at large. But I think that for those of us that have been doing the work, you know, that's why we're being called to step up into a new place of leadership. That's why I'm here. This is my step up, you know, doing these, you know, YouTube videos. You know, I've got 3 people watching them right now, but I don't care. I'm going to show up almost every day. Yesterday, guides had me doing other work, but almost every day I'm going to show up and I'm going to be here for you. And that's what, you know, this Nine of Acorns, this Nine of Wands is telling you, is that time is coming for you as well. Next year, you need to step into your leadership, possibly at the risk of, you know, financial, monetary gains. You need to make a decision who you're going to be, and then you need to defend that decision. You need to you know, wall it in so that nobody can get it, nobody can come at you. After that, you know, we have the Nine of Feathers, which is, you know, the Nine of Swords. And again, in a traditional tarot sense, that is, you know, all the fears coming in. All the fears coming in. Now, let's just paint this picture. You're called up into a leadership place in your spiritual community, and because of that, you need to take a step back on monetary income, perhaps. You need to hold your ground on that, but then all the fears are going to attack you, because that's what they do. That's what the dark does. As you're stepping more and more into light, the fears come in to attack you. This card in this particular tarot deck, because it's a very positive deck, is perspective and self-empowerment. This ends over here with the Three of Shells, playfulness and bliss. Three of Cups, that is your community. That's your friends. That's your soul tribe. That's your family, your sisters. Look at the 3 dolphins. I mean, dolphins, I love that. This is one of my sister's totem animals. So to me, this particular card is speaking to me of, you know, sisters, but sisterhood, perhaps. You're being called into something beautiful, but you're gonna have to make some hard choices to get there. And, you know, it may not be pleasant the whole way through. You may have, you know, you need to get in there and build your fortress so that you can stay. You know, it's interesting in these cards, you have a lion and a panther. And a porcupine, it looks like. But do you remember the analogy I gave at the beginning was like, all those of us have been doing our work. When the ground starts to crumble beneath the feet of everyone else, we're going to fly. Well, this ended with the Queen of Feathers. It's a bat soaring through the air. It's the counterpart to this. It's the bookend. This is the story of 2022 for you. I actually feel like this is the reading. I'm not actually going to do a more traditional reading on this. This is the reading. I am going to do a couple of clarifiers with the cat. No, not with the cat deck. Bear with me. I'm like, with the cat deck. No, they're like, get the white sage deck out. All right, so we're going to clarify with the white sage deck. Give me just a sec. I got to open the drawer here and pull them out. And then let me just give them a couple of quick shuffles. Like I say all the time, it's like I do shuffle these cards constantly, like even just in the day. Like, you know, Amy and I will be chatting and I've got a deck, you know, that I'm just shuffling the whole time we chat. I'm big on the shuffling and putting my energy into the cards and clearing the energy from the cards. And, you know, the cards, you know, in and of themselves they're, you know, it's paper. It's not even real. You know, it's everything's an illusion. All of that, but they're energy. And so, what energy? And this is for any reader. It's the energy we put into them and the energy we clear out of them that can make or break your readings. And so, I take that stuff really seriously. All right, let's clarify just a little bit. It's funny too because I'm reading these backwards, because that's how I do the bottom of the deck to see what Spirit wants to talk about, is I read backwards. So I'm going to clarify backwards as well. All right, on top of the King of Swords, we have the King of Cups. Beautiful. Also, the Fool. I love that puppy. We have Strength. On top of the 2, you're going to need strength to make this decision. This isn't going to be an easy decision. And partly because it's crystals, pentacles, it's money based. I feel like that you may be taking a loss of income. You may have to stand up to that. Or that may have been forced on you. You may just be in a situation where you've lost your job through all of everything that's gone on, or your job has changed in some way. I am going to be doing later today a Careers for Creative spread, where we're going to be talking about taking your spiritual business or your creative business and seeing where Spirit's leading on that. So if that's speaking to you at all, look for that video on the channel a little bit later today. Oh, the 10 of Pentacles. Happily ever after, babe. You're going to come out of this okay. If you make the right choice, you know, I'm biased, but the right choice is Spirit over Pentacles. You're going to come out of that okay. On top of the double 9 of Wands. With a 2 of Swords. Now that's interesting to me. We'll come back around to it in just a minute. 9 of Feathers. It's also interesting to me that they have me drawing all of these cards off the top. Usually, you know, I do this thing and we go through, but I keep coming back to the top card. So we got the Chariot and the Tower. Oh, now that's interesting. Sorry, bear with me. We'll just keep throwing out cards. We've got a double Queen of Swords. It's not Queen of Swords on top of Queen of Swords, but it's on top of our 3 with the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is a knight of action and movement and playfulness, quite frankly. And then the Empress. Yes, the Empress has come out with the 4 of Pentacles. Okay, I'm going to draw a card on that because, okay. And then the 9 of Cups on top of that. That's wish fulfillment. This is a be. I wanted to make sure this was a be careful and not a... The 4 of Pentacles can be very miserly, you know, and so the warning of the 4 of Pentacles can be either don't be miserly or be careful with your money. And I wanted to know which it was. So that card has helped me out with that. I didn't actually do the... Oh, right, because we read from the bottom of the deck. On the bottom of the deck here is the Hermit card and the Devil. That Devil, I swear, he is showing up in like every reading I'm doing the last few days. It's driving me crazy. It's driving me crazy. I've done 2 readings just on what is the Devil. Because, you know, I want it for myself. I want it for you all as well, because it's not good to ignore the devil. Let's just say that, you know, we need to know what the devil energy is. And I'm not sure that it's a very distant energy. So I almost feel like that's connected to the other readings that I've already done. So watch those readings. If the devil situation, you know, pings you in a way, there's 2 readings on the channel right now that are Why is the Devil Here and The Devil Makes a Return, where we deal with the devil a little bit more, and I'm feeling that that's answered to what that devil is, so we're not going to go further on that. All right, so what we have here is we've got our King of Swords topped by the King of Cups and the Fool. This, and as I'm reading this out, like I said, I'm seeing this more and more like a 2022 reading. So that's, you know, there's a new beginning starting for you. Hecate, goddess of the crossroads. I didn't even know that until I read that in the book. You're at a new beginning, and because it's Hecate and because of my personal experience with her about balancing the light from the dark, you're being asked to balance something. But with this 2 of Pentacles here, what I'm feeling is you're being asked to balance the spiritual to the physical realms. And that is most likely a monetary thing. You know, when we go on these spiritual journeys, a lot of times, you know, we have to stop income trains that we've had going and shift gears. You know, the spiritual realm, when you dive into the spiritual realm and go deep, you know, it takes you. It takes you. It's not a faint calling, as I'm sure you already know to some degree. So with the King of Cups, you know, that's love, emotional fulfillment. You're being asked to step up into a new beginning as a spiritual leader of some sort. I'm calling it that. I don't mean that literally. Like, I'm not telling you go out and get your, you know, become a preacher in a church or something like that. I'm just saying there's a very deep spiritual base on this new journey. But it's also very based in love. You're here to give out love. This is you, and your energy is on this. I feel that. And that is this cup of love that you have to pour out on the people around you. And you do that by being this wise leader. As you go into the Two of Pentacles, you know, you're going to need strength to make this decision. You're going to need to get past fear to make this decision. But the Strength card tells me that you can, and that you possibly already have. And when you do that, the Ten of Pentacles, your whole world is going to open up in a way that you've never seen before. And that's very cool. I love that aspect. Now, you know, going across from that, we have the Nine of Wands with another Nine of Wands on top of it. And this particular Nine of Wands is the one that I always read as protection. These are pussy willows in this deck. And the way they're set up, I mean, I guess you could see a jail cell or whatever, but I always see a protective fence around you. This panther has so much strength emanating just from the card. This is not walling her in. This is her defenses that she's put up to tell people, language alert, I'm giving you a heads up, cover your ears if you don't want to hear this part. But this wall is telling people, fuck off, this is my territory, and get back. All right. The Two of Swords with this, though, is an interesting one because, you know, in some of the decks, the Two of Swords is a bit harried, is a bit, you know, the person is usually blindfolded. We've got, you know, there's the dark moon again. It's not, you know, complete, but it's like that dark side of the moon analogy. That's speaking to me. On the dark side of the moon, we don't see that well, obviously. You're going to have to use your intuition. These are the swords of warriors. I can feel that off the energy. These are the swords of warriors. You're going to be sitting here with your swords, using your intuition because you can't see. You can't see. What's coming in the world is going to, it's an illusion. It's not real. And you can't see through it some of the time. Work on your intuition, work on your connection, work on your alignment to source. Because that's what's going to get us all through next year. This was the Nine of Swords. This is the card that is ordinarily, you know, all the fears kind of coming to get you. However, what I'm seeing on top of this, we have the Tower and the Chariot. That's two major arcana. So first off, that tells me God has your back. This is destiny. This is God moving here. If you let the fears get you, you're going to end up in a tower moment because God's going to have to force the issue. If you can master your own fears about what you've done, about what you've stepped into, you're going to, again, I just was going to say you're going to fly. These are racehorses pulling this chariot. The chariot moves fast. It's fast forward movement. So your choice is kind of, you know, sit in the fear and make God force it, or, you know, master the fear and drive these horses to the finish line. You know, and actually what you're driving towards is your tribe, your sisterhood, your solid, stable relationships, your friendships that are more beautiful and more connected than anything you've ever known before. Because I'm saying that in part because you've got the Queen of Swords on top of this. So there's your counterpart again. We've got double Queen of Swords. In this one, you know, she's like a mountain lion. Look at that sword she's got there. And her eyes, this woman knows. She knows she's fierce, she's bold, she is not afraid to use that sword and defend her tribe. The Knight of Wands, though, is kind of at her beck and call in a weird way, even though it's a swords to a wand. But the Knight of Wands, it's an energetic, it's a fire, it's a passion. I'm trying to translate this properly because I'm getting a very clear message on this about these three cards. I see them in a triangle. And it kind of goes all the way across the board. You're being asked to step up. You're going to be leading a tribe, a sisterhood, a family. It doesn't have to be people you don't know. It can just be your family. You're going to be leading them with truth, with wisdom. But you can't forget your passion. You can't forget your magic. You know, in this deck in particular, well, this deck and the Lights Here deck, both the wands really speak to me of magic. Particularly, actually, in the Lights Here deck, the wands speak to me of magic. It's passion. It's fire energy. It's fun. It's moving. It's fast. It's you know, it can be frenetic, but in this thing here, I'm just seeing there's going to be times where you need to be this queen, and there's times that you're going to need to be this knight, which is, you know, you come a little closer to the people. Obviously, the queen is a little removed. Come a little closer to the people. Be one of them. Bring your passion. Bring your magic. Bring your fun. Don't forget that as we go in the next year. Magic, passion, fun, artistry, all of those things are going to be very important. On top of our Queen of Swords over here, because ultimately this is you. You're the king. You're the embodiment of the king and the Queen of Swords. I know that because we have the Empress here. The Empress is the balance of all four queens. So this is a fully realized, balanced person that's leading this tribe. And I'm hearing Spirit say, you've earned this. You've worked for this. You are this. You may have to take like a tiny little step down the right road to actualize this, but you're there. This Four of Pentacles, I'm not picking up the misery. When we have the Nine of Cups on top of it like that, I'm not picking up the misery energy at all with this. I'm picking up a, you know, next year, financially, next year may be tricky. For whatever reasons. Maybe, you know, you did quit a job, or maybe just life gets weird, and for all we know, the entire financial stability on the planet collapses. I'm just seeing, with the way that this ribbon is laced around these sand dollars, and then you couple that with the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. The Nine of Cups has everything it needs. Look at the water just flowing into all of these cups with this rainbow up here. This is not a warning about miserliness. This is just you may have to tread carefully with finances in 2022. You may have to, but it's because you're making shifts. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's because you're making these shifts to align yourself better for your future, for your family, for your great love, for you know, your destiny. You're taking steps to align yourself better, and there's just the slight warning, it's a very light energy, to just be mindful about following the path and watching where you step, and not being too concerned about what's going on around this. You stay on your path, the path that you choose, stay on it. Whew. That is 2022 for you. If you found this channel, if you found this video, whenever you're watching it, it is a timeless reading in that, you know, whatever your season you're stepping into, you can take value from these because you found the video for a reason. But I am reading this in the energy of going into the New Year's. We are just a couple of days before, I think today's the 29th. So we're just a couple of days at the end of the year here. And this energy very much came in about the new year and about, you know, sacred soulmates in particular. You know, if you're a twin flame, a sacred soulmate person, if you've been through that ringer, you know, you're ready. You're ready to step up and be, you know, this leader of this tribe. Just don't forget your passion. Don't forget your fun. Don't forget your magic. Your magic matters. It's important. Be this one here, you know? Wise. Be wise. All right, that is your reading, my darlings. I'm sending you love, and I'm sending you peace. And I'm sending you blessings for the new year. And I will see you on the next video.